important. Solly Mapaila, the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, in our report, we mentioned that we have engaged the party and the alliance from the early stages of our engagement about the government, not even the government of national unity, options. The Communist Party was for GNU with elements of minority government, or what you call supply confidence agreements. It has happened partly. The main issue that the General Secretary of the party seemed to be having is the DA in the GNU. Now, the DA in the GNU is not of our choosing. It came out of the process of the democratic elections. Otherwise, if we had won elections overwhelmingly, we will not have DA in the GNU. We will not have DA in the GNU. And GNU can still continue and will continue without the DA. But if the DA choose to be part of the GNU and participate constructively in terms of stability of the country and commit to the statement of intent that we all agree to, they participate. And that is it. And what is that? Constitutional democracy, the rule of law, redress, economic growth, job creation for our people. That's what is important. So we have said that coalitions and government of national unity across the globe are formed by rival parties who don't agree even on ideology. Across the globe, they are not constituted by like-minded people. They are not. It doesn't mean if we had the people that, quote-unquote, characterize as close to us, there will be no rivalry there. There will be. And the subjective analysis from his part that if we had incorporated these people, the NDR is not under threat, it's incorrect. What is important is what do you do with your 40% in the GNU to defend and safeguard power? That's what we've done. That's what we've done. So the issue that is being raised about a sellout position must be accompanied by empirical evidence that the ANC in the GNU, because of the DA, it has succumbed to the following. And have actually thrown historical positions and its policies out of the window in favor of the DA. To date, we don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that. So the over-exaggeration and accentuation that the DA and the DA being part of the GNU on the part of the ANC is a sellout position, it's incorrect. For instance, let me take an example. COSATU will be very opposed to the DA for reasons that are well known. Why do you think COSATU must not be frantic and be opposed to the DA given its posture when it comes to worker rights? Will the ANC agree with the DA on those issues? No. No. Have we been in this situation of the GNU before? We have been. What did we do when we were in the GNU at the time of the transition in this country? We have always maintained our power and also drive our policies very hard in the context of the GNU. No different. This time around, GNU is not brought about by a compromise through a negotiated settlement. It's brought about by an outcome of an election. So if you want to force us into a grand coalition with rivalries, it has got its own ramifications and risks. But we believe that the GNU risks outweigh the ramifications and risks of a grand coalition, where you lock yourself in partnership with somebody who can tell you tomorrow, I don't agree with everything. If you don't, then I'm out, and hold you at ransom. What will you do? There will be instability in government, like you have seen in local government. What coalitions and grand coalitions have produced in terms of your partners is something else. So at the end of the day, All of these things we've got to weigh up in terms of our understanding of these issues. The Communist Party have said that we maintain a critical eye on the GNU, which is acceptable to us, and so on. And we will continue to engage, and even together with the party and COSATU and others, deepen our strategic outlook of this government of national unity going forward. That's what we will do. It doesn't end with the ANC. We're going to the political council. All these views will be ventilated there. But here is the question. The GNU is not a melting pot. This is a fundamental strategic setback in terms of the outcome of the elections. That's what the NEC says. But this setback doesn't mean defeat. It means out of it, you can be in a position to advance your objectives. That is now your program of the National Democratic Revolution. And that's what the ANC is going to do. And that's how we understand the GNU is the most important strategic, tactical intervention. It can be on forever or it can go. Let me put it this way, right? Let's say tomorrow other parties and then they go away and all of that. It does not mean the collapse of the country. And if they go, it's their choice, they can go. But the GNU in itself, it's a tactical intervention in terms of addressing South Africa's and people's interest first, that we need to address, and national interest, to unite the country and get everybody to be involved. 10 political parties are part of this GNU. So we'll continue to engage. And there are flaws also to think that tactically, when you go with people you characterize, quote unquote, as close to you in terms of left, and those is EFF and Zuma party, you are safe. It is debatable. It's debatable. We can't be forced into that. We can't be forced into that. Let's debate it. And it belongs to the political council. It will be wrong for the ANC and our allies to communicate to the rest of South Africa that howling at each other is the right thing to do in 2024. When we engage, we meet together. All what it does is to show South Africa how disorganized we are. That's all what it says. It does not deepen. It does not deepen hegemony of the progressive forces. That the General Secretary of the Communist Party have told the whole world that ANC is a sellout party. That statement will remain with the people. Whatever we do in the GNU, whether we succeed or not, it will be referred to by opportunists and ideological pushovers and so on, that statement was basically correct, when it is not correct. We need to be told what is the sellout position, because we invited all parties, GNUs and coalition governments, in the deepest Oxford Dictionary definition, are actually constituted by political rival parties who necessarily don't agree ideologically. Go to Europe, everywhere else, close to home in Zimbabwe, Changirai and President Mugabe, may they too rest in peace, constituted a GNU which lasted for 5 years. And ZANU-PF came back and won election outright, and GNU was done away with. It happened next door. GNU, Government of National Unity, Prime Minister was Changirai in the government of President Mugabe. Here in South Africa, we don't have a Prime Minister, we don't have a Deputy President, we just have parties with positions in government. That's it. And majority of these positions in government are occupied in respect of the outcome of the election by the largest party. It's not a favor. that is made to the ANC. But the ANC have become respectful and true to the statement of intent that when parties come together, it's not for the convenience of it, are parties who genuinely want to move South Africa forward. We want employment to be done away with. We want to work together for redress, because when there is economic growth, there will be stability, there will be jobs created and all of that. And working with the private sector and so on, we will be able to move South Africa forward. And that is what is important for our country.